What's up, YouTube? It's Knife Guy 433 coming at you from my garage, and just getting ready to do a little bit of tempering on a blade. I cut this out of D2 tool steel. I just figured it'd be a nice little EDC knife. Fits nice in the hand. I cut a good finger notch in it, so you can hold that there and get a good, little chopper if you want. We'll call it a micro chopper. We'll go from that, but I like it. It's only about 5 inches long. I've got some work to do back here. The grinder kind of jumped on me, or not my grinder, my belt sander kind of jumped on me. I got my bevels ground in, belt grinder, heat treated it. Got some new Burns-O-Matic things to temper or to heat treat with, and then I finally got a little mini toaster oven. It's in the process of heating up. We're gonna temper it out here, and then I got the Kydex in. I'm glad I got the Kydex in. We're working on that right now. It's been a hell of a day. Supposed to be a day off. I ended up having to go into work, which is whatever. But halfway through the day, I get a text message from Sammy. My basement's flooding. Well, as you know, here in Nebraska, especially the Fremont area, we got a lot more snow this year than we have in the past. So with that, there's a good foot of snow in my front yard, if not a little bit more, maybe closer to 15, 16 inches. Then it rained today as well. It rained for most of the morning. Well, with that, the grade at the front of my house, the yard's flat, and then it dips just a little bit towards the front, towards the house. And water pools in there, and it goes down into the foundation and in my basement. So we call the landlord. He comes over and he starts digging it up. And got it all dug up, and it's a mess. I'll put some pictures up later with this, and trying to tell him, well, we need to fill it with something. We need to fill it with concrete. We need to fill it with some dirt and just bring that grade up so the water rushes away from the house. Do something. And he comes up with the genius idea. Well, let's put sand in it. Let me tell you, folks, this hole is a good 1.5 feet from the house. And in some places, it's 2 foot deep. And he wants to put sand in it. Where are we going to find this much sand? Well, apparently he has sand at his house, but he doesn't have a pickup. So now I have to take my truck over to his house tomorrow morning and fill up the bed of the truck with sand, bring it back here, and then dump the sand in the hole. I don't know what that's going to fix, because I don't know about you, but I know that sand holds water. It does take a while for water to go through sand, yada, 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 but still, come on, sand, but whatever. Besides the point, that's the mess I'm dealing with there. So we're getting that figured out. Just waiting for the old oven here to get hot enough so I can throw this in and start tempering. What I do with the blade for temper is I do 400 degrees for 2 1-hour cycles. So I'm going to do this first temper and then take it out to cool. Ooh, got a little warm up there. But I'm not a metallurgist or metallist or whatever. I just know that you're supposed to temper a heat-treated blade, because if you don't, then it's very brittle and it can break easy, and that's not good. We don't want it to break. So we're going to get that started here in a minute. Actually, I might as well just throw this in now. Oh, crap. I went to go set it in there nice and flat, and that's what happened. It got stuck. So now we just wait. 30-minute timer. So in reality, I do 4 30-minute cycles, but I'll turn the timer back on at 30 minutes, and then when it goes off, I will pull the blade out and let it sit and cool. And then once it's cooled, then I'll, have it twice, and then, go from there. So we will come back to this video in a little bit. Once the 2 temper cycles are done, I'm supposed to go to work tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m., but I just had to call my boss and tell him that I have to go get a ton, literally a ton of sand and fill this massive hole in the front. So we'll get that taken care of, and then we will be back. All right, YouTube, so here we are back in the shop. Went over to Sammy's parents' house and got Jim's computers running again, which is good. Here you can see we're just kind of firing up. I kind of did a little bit of a modification to the torches. I had some leftover copper piping from a plumbing project that you all saw with Uncle Bob. So what I did, let me put the cigarette out. Not good for YouTube, I guess. But whatever. Shh, don't tell nobody. I won't tell. I basically took a piece of the pipe and I cut it off, made a little bit more of a collar, and it's really putting out a lot more heat. I mean, it's created more of like a turbine. And you see that back one is just way bigger flame. I think I need to modify this when I kind of bent the end a bit, but I'll round it out some more and kind of see how it's flat there on the bottom. I think that's affecting it. It's affecting the flame anyway. And didn't mean to put the camera down, but Nope. But anyway, we've got that firing up. Let's put the door on. I modified my kiln, or my heat treat oven a little bit, and I ripped one of these in half, so you can kind of see, and then I put half in here laying down as kind of like a shelf, so I'm not constantly standing here. I can just kind of let it be. But then in the process of trying to cut the pipe, I was wiggling my workbench, and this half piece broke off into 3 separate pieces. Well, apparently my timer shuts off the recording. So anyway, put that here. It creates like a door. I can kind of, I got little holes to let oxygen into the flames keep going. As we all know chemistry, we all know that you need a flame. Ding! That's done. So this is now at about 400 degrees. It's been through 2 temper cycles. We'll let that, feel warm. We'll let that cool down to room temperature. Just leave the door open there. We'll let that cool down. I'm gonna keep farting around with this. I don't know, it's getting kind of late. We're looking at 10:50 at night. Got to get some sleep because tomorrow morning I've got to go get sand to fix the thing. Look at all that slag that just comes right off of that. I mean, it looks cool somewhat to the touch. Then as soon as you introduce it to the flame, boom, that stuff lights up like Christmas. And it just flakes right off. So I'm not 100% sure on hardening knife steel from an old saw blade, because I'm assuming that those are already hardened at some point. So I think we're just gonna shut off the fire. All right, just take a quick listen to make sure that they're both off, and they're not leaking. That would be extremely bad. So, like I said, I've got this in here tempering, or it's done tempering. It's 2 cycles. It's going to cool down overnight. It's cold enough to obviously see your breath in here. So with that, we're going to call this segment of the video done, and we will catch y'all next time. I don't know if I'm going to get one done tomorrow night, finishing up that knife. I got a lot of work to do in the yard. I said I was going to get some pictures, but like I said, it's almost 11 o'clock at night now, so it's pretty dark. But I will get some pictures up with the next video. So we're going to call that a good one, and we'll catch y'all on the flip side. Just a quick update. I know that I should have filmed the cutout process, but basically what I did is I took my 12-inch chunk of tool steel, wherever the other half went. Oh, it's back in there. And I put it in the vise after cutting out my template from my blade, and I just cut it out with a grinder and shaped it up. And then I took it over to my bench grinder and I really hogged off some material. And then after that was said and done, it was good to go. So with that, after I got that done, I took it over to my belt sander and I put my bevels in. I didn't angle them or anything. I just went off of eye. This is just kind of I really wanted to make a knife type thing. I really wanted to get something made, and I don't know, something about working in the garage, working with my hands just de-stresses me. And after work today and that out in the yard is stress level. So just trying to get that all figured out and ready to go. But like I said, I should have filmed it and I didn't. But when I do go to make the knife out of the 440C stainless, I will be filming that whole process. Basically what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to try and make a chopper. I may just leave the end of it flat and kind of taper it back to the handle a little bit. I'm not 100% sure yet. I want to do a bunch of drawings and figure out some things before I just start cutting material. And then maybe eventually down the line, I would love to order more knife steel, which is going to happen. I just got to wait till I get paid again. You know, pay some bills, be an adult. And then once that's all done and paid, what we will do is we will get more knife steel ordered. I want to make my own set of throwing knives. Eventually what I'd like to do is put up an end grain target out here, or an end grade throwing board. And I'll put that up probably over there next to where one of the sawhorses is. I'll take one of them down and put that end grain up over there. Then once that's done, we'll have a little fun with some throwing knives. And then yeah, it's cold out here, sinuses are acting up. It'll give me a little bit of fun practice to play with this. I cut that out of an old saw blade. I did it for Chance. He wanted to be out here in the garage with me when it was warmer earlier late last year in the fall or whatever. So I cut that out for him, and he had a blast throwing it at the cardboard box and all that. So probably going to get that one heat treated up and fixed so that it doesn't bend, because every once in a while he'd throw it and it would hit the wall or it would hit the concrete and the corner would wrap around, so I'd have to straighten it out. And I don't know, I've had to sharpen it up so many times just because it was dulled down from throwing it at the ground and stuff like that. So we'll get that figured out. Like I said, we're just waiting on this to finish tempering. And once that's done, we will go from there.